Check, 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 check. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I am Dark Algo, and thanks for joining me on another Morning Watchlist building session. Let's get that money, y'all. All right. I'm Dark Algo. Thanks for joining. If you're new to the stream, I really appreciate y'all showing up. We're going to give another minute or two for some people to flow in, and then we will try to find some stocks and options that are going to make a greater than expected move today. The market is currently already down, which is pretty cool, right? I'd rather have it down pre-market and get a rip throughout the day rather than just chopping all day. So volatility is coming into play. NASDAQ just broke a key level, so we will definitely have to check out our futures. Morning, Johnny. I'm glad you're here every day. Appreciate it, brother. All right. Oops, sorry. We have energy now, finally. Meaning I have energy. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to look at futures first, just because I'm noticing some pretty big moves. And it's interesting that the top row's down and the bottom row's up. That's how bonds are rallying, and the yen is up also as well. So could be a very interesting day. Very, very, very interesting. There's a bunch of news, and I want to get into that. Let me just see if I can show real quickly here kind of what's cracking. What is crack-a-lacking? Big move in the yen. It's our 10-minute chart, bringing it over to 15. Pretty significant level of support broke, right? We took out Friday's lows, and now we're free falling. So, free falling. All right, I can move this down here. I have a whole nother setup over here. One of these days I'll take a picture and send it. I don't want to see the 2-minute. The 5-minute. Oh, wow, that's a big drop. Big old 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 drop. Oh, my neck. All right, hope everybody's weekend was good. We're going to get it right into the plays. Morning, Terry. Johnny, Terry, please give me your FlowTrade plays as soon as possible. I want y'all to know that we are going to, I think on Wednesdays, I'm going to have a guest speaker join me on the stream. It is the professor from Predicted Trades. He'll go over kind of his software technology, and more than likely he'll give you a play, right? The reason he's doing that is we're really trying to help draw some attention to him and his group. They just started their Discord. They've been doing, they've been trading for years and years and years. Super smart people. Very, very methodical in their strategy. It is a general trading strategy you can use on any stock, and it isn't dependent upon divergence or anything like that. It works so great with FlowTrade. It's phenomenal. We will definitely try to help support them in any way that we possibly can. And excuse me. So check it. Yo, I went and got a new phone. Haha. But I got an iPhone. I got an iPhone. Now I got 2 phones. I got a Note 9 and an iPhone 13. Note 9 is going back. All right. We have a bunch of news. Lucid. Yes. Cool. Lots of news. So I think the best way that we can do this is I like the pretty colors of that chart, but I also think I like this one better for a 30-minute view. Trying to decide between this guy Right, that guy there, or you know what we do? Let's do this. Okay. Lots of news. 30-minute chart. This will give me 30 and daily. Oh, this is a good one here. All right. And plus my big old head's not in the way. Sweet. Okay. Vidi's dropping, right? Vidi's currently trading at 265 is my demand zone, key level support. We can trade all the way down to 261, right? We got this range here that runs 240 to 260, right? Or is that 260? Not bad. 270. We have support at 261. I think Nvidia might hit that today. It's gonna be they're gonna be slugging it out today for sure. All right, let's get going on. Viacom upgraded to buy from hold at Deutsche Bank, right? Definitely bullish off that news, right? Big rally on Friday, bull flag over the weekend. Pre-market they're up. They may run to the 200 SMA. We are coming up on a trading zone right here that runs, basically runs here. All right, we got a little supply zone that we're starting to hit into. Above that supply zone, we smack in the 200 SMA at 38. That's Viacom. Moderna, we have news on Moderna finally. It should have happened 2 weeks ago, but they finally came out with some news. They may be bullish off this news. So look at this possible little inverse head and shoulders. Currently, they're pretty bearish, right? Negatively stacked moving averages is fighting to get back above the 200 on the 30. Above the 200 on the 30, we hit VWAP. 250 or 225, and then the falling 200 SMA. So we're playing the rally to the 200, creating cup and handle on the 30-minute. So 30-minute charts, 1 to 2 week options. Beautiful little doji, daily doji on Friday, but we are still kind of downtrending a little bit. But Moderna and Charisma Therapeutics enter into a strategic collaboration agreement to discover, develop, and commercialize in vivo engineered chimeric antigen receptor monocyte. Basically, mouthful. Therapeutics for the treatment of cancer. So Moderna is typically known for its COVID vaccine. They are partnering up with a new company to look at cancer treatment. That's what they may need because they're kind of losing the COVID race to a bunch of other like Pfizer and Merck. Now, be aware, this is a potential bear flag. Okay, so we've got, you know, a little flag going on like this, right? Typically, when we see these flags, they're reversed, right? So just be aware because that could be a very, right? That could be a bear flag, right? Bear flag. Okay, if it breaks this, right? If it breaks previous highs, right, then I would say it's an inverse head and shoulders and it may rally. So what happened over here? We don't see how this oh, see this where my rectangle is right here? This is a bear flag. I don't want another one to happen here. If it does, Moderna has got a long ways to fall. Okay. Sorry, just trying to get comfortable in the old chair piece. Okay, Moderna, Pfizer. Speaking of Pfizer and Beam Therapeutics said they formed an exclusive 4-year research collaboration focused on in vivo-based editing programs for 3 targets aiming at rare genetic diseases. Pfizer will make an upfront payment of $300 million to Beam. Pfizer has got falling 200. I wouldn't touch Pfizer until it gets above 5640. That's just the real quick and dirty of it. Above 5640, which is the lows from the 3rd. Definitely coming up into supply zone, right? Previous demand zone becomes the supply zone. Let me show you what that looks like. So see how this was a demand zone. It's become a supply zone now, right? All the pretty colors. Biogen, BIIB, we played this before. It may have better luck this week, and it's with its Alzheimer's disease therapy, according to Barron's. noting that Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services are set to issue proposed guidelines that would determine whether Medicare will cover the drug. Right? Big rally. Our drug works. Oh, we can't get it approved by Medicare, so we have to charge people hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's obviously going to drag the strike down. This stock is super jumpy. Okay, we are just chilling right now. We've got a massive demand zone that we're just hanging out in. Oh, that was too big. Too big. Sorry. Get back over here, sucker. All right, where are we at? The only thing I wish I had on these charts was ATR, because it's uber importante. Well, there it is, folks. It's ugly and it's choppy and it is a demand zone. Keep in mind we've got 5,200 crossover on the 30-minute, but prior to that it was bullish. Now it's downtrending. So that news may come out, and look for news later this week for BIIB moving back up. Okay. EXAX, Exact Sciences Corporation, right, announced that it has acquired a company, genetic testing laboratory. In their also had earnings. They got their Q4 revenues at 472 to 475 million versus 440, and sees preliminary revenues at 1.76 billion versus 1.73. Can we say chop suey and super chop? Chop, chop, downtrending super chop. I'm not even going to touch this until they stop downtrending. Really, I wouldn't if I were you either. So nothing's worse than a fading chop, right? High fades are cool. Fading chops are lame. JP Morgan Securities downgraded Lower Schwab and Raymond James to market perform from market outperform and increased quarterly estimates on 11 companies. There's a bunch of them. Mainly, they look to be in the so they're saying that they're oh wow, okay, so JP Morgan Securities came out and said that the biggest implied stock upside potential in our market outperform rated stocks is 265% for Hood, 136% for MKTW, 74% for Coin, 73% for Cown. So they're saying that they like Coin, and they're saying that they've got biggest upside potential for Robinhood. Check this out, yo. Remember this little trend line support that I drew for Coinbase on Friday? Well, it broke it. It gapped down overnight. Coinbase, you want to play something to the downside? Here you go. 225 target, below 225. It starts to get real sketchy. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, so below that we've got all-time low at 206. Right, there's a gnarly demand zone right there. Oh, it's beautiful, I tell you, beautiful. Right there, that demand zone runs 208 to 213. I think Coin has a bigger ATR than that, so we might have to look at it. All right, I'm going to take a quick second. So listen, I got a request from Chevy Drop Top, too bad he's not here, asking how I do my supply and demand zones. There's so many schools of thought. I really would want to do a lesson on it. Quick rule of thumb, take a low to a low, right? That's one way. The other is find the trend, right? Find whatever trend you're in. I'm going to use this daily chart real quick over here on the right. Get back here. So find whatever trend you're in, right? And then find the reversal and go back one candle. That's usually the supply zone, right? For the upside. So, right, there's the reversal candle, right? This is the candle that reverses it. This would be the zone here, okay? This is a reverse candle that reverses it. This would be the zone here, okay? Down, up, there's a zone right here, right? Pretty much right there. That's an easy way to look at it. The other is you take, if you want to get real specific with your zones, you want to take, well, think about it. If this, then that, right? Follow the path of the stock. Oh, we're selling off, selling off. Oh, we got a quick little pop. Couldn't break above that, right? We sold off, broke support. We came back down, found some support, rallied back up, couldn't get through it. Gap down, found support, chop, found support. Finally broke above, right? This previous low over here. Right, this stopped us. We couldn't get above it. Stopped us. So there's a zone right there. Right, as soon as we got above that previous low, we rallied up. Okay, just real quick and easy way to do things. Okay, PayPal in news. Back to the news. PayPal in the news is considering launching its own stablecoin as part of its cryptocurrency push, according to the company. PayPal was doing great until it decided it wanted to mess around with crypto, right? And ever since last summer, it's just been selling off. See what happens when a stock has a death cross, when the daily 50 crosses below the daily 200. It's extremely difficult for that stock to get back up into an uptrend. PayPal's been chopping for the last several months, actually. There's possibly an earnings play if you wanted to do an iron fly on PayPal, right? So that would be like buying the 185s, selling the 195s, buying the 185s, selling the 175s, and you would make money as long as PayPal doesn't break your wings by closing. However, PayPal, it's just chilling. It's on its down cycle now, right? 185, 195. You could very possibly play the ups and the downs of PayPal. The only thing about that is when it does crack, right? If it gets above, now if it gets back up to the supply zone that runs 200 to 210-ish, it's got a gap to fill there and a rally to 253. Something will happen with PayPal probably in the next couple months that'll allow that to happen. Air Lease announced an update on aircraft investment sales and significant financing occurring in its fourth quarter of 2021. As of the end of last year, ALC's fleet was comprised of 382 owned aircraft, 92 managed, and with 416 new aircraft on order from Boeing. Boeing. We hate Boeing. But Boeing is rallying. What do we got here? Inverse head and shoulders. 1, 2, 3. So pullback, rally. Boeing's trading at about plus 2 ATR, right? There's a longer term gap. I've got this 221 level. Boeing's got some overhead resistance, creating a giant wedge. If you want to play the Boeing, keep in mind that it's selling off pre-market. It just broke the 200 on the 30-minute. It's got VWAP down at 213. Below that, we want to test previous lows, right? 211, rising 200. So 210, 211 support. If it holds there, well, yeah, I forgot. I gotta look at this guy right here. Yeah, a couple things are going to happen. If it breaks trendline support, breaks VWAP, I think that we see the 210 puts, so it move back down to the 200. If it bounces off that 200 like it's done for quite a while, then you could play the move back up to this overhead resistance, right? I mean, some may call that a flag. I'm going to call it a, I don't like Boeing. I don't want to trade Boeing. Okay. LNG. I know that there was, LNG was the U.S.'s biggest exporter of liquefied natural gas in the world last month for the first time, responsible for its single largest supply increase among exported nations last year. Very bullish. Very bullish. What are we doing on this? Rally, pullback. Rally, 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 rally. Hit some highs at 111. It's being squished. Right? It's getting squished between its moving averages. 8's bouncing off of the 34. It's running into VWAP. So LNG above 104, 109 for a move back up to all-time highs. Right? So 110 is pretty significant resistance, right? Pretty significant resistance there, but this is a very bullish stock. Lots of volume coming in on this puppy. Look at that, beautiful squeeze. I love seeing these moving averages squeezes, especially between VWAP. You've got rising 50-day pressure coming into previous volume weighted average price at 109, right? It's squeezing it. When I say squeezing, imagine. Have you ever seen wax being made? I mean, have you ever seen what's something that they put a lot of pressure on? Not diamonds, but there's something that gets made that they put an extreme amount of pressure on. All right, 1 second here. So homeboy messages me last night at 11 o'clock my time, which is 1 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. So when Laz shows up, be like, bro, sleep in much? Because you know he's going to watch it. I got to pull his covers. Call him out. We're going to call him out. All right, moving on. So, no joke on this. Why would you ever name your stock this? Why would you name your stock that? Seriously, though. All right. I'm not even going to go. I'm not even going to look it up. All right. We do have some news. So, I've seen a lot of people talking about Beyond and Beyond Meat. Okay. Let me pull up my magic kilts over here. Yeah, keep falling down, Uber. Make a fool out of me again. All right. What do I got here? Let's get rid of all this crap. So, Beyond. Into last week, came off massive support. Right? Long-term downtrending stock. Right? Came out with some news. Came out with some support right off the daily bottom. 4-hour cloud. Up to... This is the weekly cloud. It's trying to get back into the weekly above the 50. So on Beyond, if it gets above 70, let's just say if it gets above previous lows, right? Oh, I don't think it's going to let me go back far enough. $76. Is that 76? 1 second. 76. I know it's you have to wait for it, and there's a big move from 68 to 76. But this stock has been downtrending for so long. Rally, still downtrending, right? It's trying to make a recovery. So the safe move is to get above the weekly, back into the weekly cloud, above the 50-day, right? You can throw an alert on, right? Add an alert on the daily 50 crosses up. So the condition Beyond crossing above the 50, right? So basically, I think this works. I think this is how we do it. Basically, if that's right, then the 4-hour crosses above the 50, right? Once per bar, open-ended, alert name, BYND takes 50 SMA, right? I think that'll work. So what I just did is I create an alert when, hopefully, when Beyond gets above the 50. I think that's how we do those. Okay. Oh, he wants to show up? Whatever, bro. Whatever. You can't say you've been here and didn't even say good morning. Whatever. My man. All right. And so, Yum Brands, Pizza Hut, and Beyond Meat announced the launch of a plant-based Beyond Italian sausage crumbles as a permanent offering at restaurants in Canada after trial in Toronto and Edmonton last summer. Okay. Take that for what you want. I showed you what to do. Wait to get above the 50. Tesseract falling off pre-market. Right. It broke 4-hour bottom. Next stop, logical step, daily bottom, weekly mid. Below 885, Tesla can come down and test its 200, 4-hour 200 at 791, which is also the weekly bottom. Okay. This Elliott wave was a lie. So, I mean, Tesla's got, it didn't hold its 50 on the 4-hour. That's bearish. I'm going to look at Tesla 900 puts, and then for a bounce, probably, let's just see what happens with the pre-market, okay? Tesla, Elon came out and said on Twitter on Friday that the pricing for its full self-driving features is raising to $12,000 on January 17th. Premium driver-assisted packaging currently costs $10,000 up front, or about $200 per month for most customers. So they're like, Tesla, Elon's like, look, if I have to sell my stock, I'm going to charge you guys more for stuff. Well, yeah, that's an additional $2,000 per year. How am I being rate limited? Why am I being rate limited? Lame. All right. What does that look like for Tesla? Well, let's do this. So I have previous lows at 950. Below 950, we hit 903. That was a pretty gnarly little candle there. So a little bit of a triple bottom happening here on Tesla on the 5-minute, right? I would consider that new support 998. So Tesla below 998. And things get pretty nasty. It is just chilling below the 4-hour daily bottom magnet, 4-hour top. So if it does one of these, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. If this is the 5th wave, we could look for a recovery wave. So right, that's one move on Tesla. The other would be back through this. That would set up a 4-hour head and shoulders. We just had a 5-minute candle that ripped. Lord, that's a big candle. The candle went 998 to 1019. So what's that, a $20 candle? Okay, moving on. Mgm Resorts. Mentioned positively in Barron's, noting shares jumped 42% last year on optimism of a resurgence in Las Vegas tourism. Well, that's great. Well, something just happened and it's falling off a cliff, right? Well, not really. We did have a 50-200 crossover. It's coming back and testing its 50 one more time at 44.14. If it can maintain this 50, right, then it would be kind of a broadening pattern, I think is what they call it. Maybe that's what they call it. So there's the 50. Nice little 4-hour 50 bounce. So if you wanted to wait till it pulled back to 40, 375-ish. Play the 4-hour bounce to weekly, monthly, mid, right? And then back up. Okay. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola positively mentioned in Barron's, saying the stock is finally has its fizz back. It's riding, well, it broke its 50, riding the 200 on the 30-minute. It's trading way away from the daily mean. I feel like we get a pullback on Coca-Cola to at least VWAP, and that would be approximately $59. Right, I think Coke will pull back to here. Looks about right. So if it breaks yesterday's lows or Friday's lows at 60, you got support at 59.87, below 59.87, 59.50, all the way back down to 59. Okay, and then Lulu, Lemon Athletica. Right, shares are down 5%. Right, earnings on a Q4 adjusted non-GAAP, $3.25 to $3.32. Previous estimates at 3.34, and now expects its company's net revenues to be toward low end of its range, 2.12 billion versus 2.17 billion. What happens when a stock breaks this long-term 200 SMA? Well, it's going to fall. I've got support at 347. 350 is going to be the psychological level for it. So let's definitely check the 350 level. There's got to be... If you haven't noticed, I've been looking left an awful lot lately. Oh crap, it broke 350. I wish I had a magnifying glass for this. So next level of support is 337. Is that right? 335. Oh, it broke 335. Wow. Hold on. So 335. Wow, that's gnarly. That's a gnarly bounce. If it breaks 335, the next level I have for it is 316. Right? Yeah, so if it breaks this, like I said, if it comes down and it breaks 325, it's got 316 incoming. That's a big move on Lulu. Okay. That's it for the news. Earnings, we're starting to get back into earnings season. Super excited about that. As had earnings before the open. CMC had earnings before the open. LMNR, Limonera Co. Earnings after the bell, Vox, IZEA, and ACCD. Event calendar for today, wholesale inventory for month of our month for November is at 10 o'clock Eastern. And here's the news. We're going to take a real quick break. I have to wake up my daughter. Give me 5 minutes. I'll leave futures up. We'll get into those. Let me just tell you what's going on. U.S. futures are pointed to a slightly lower opening as Treasury yields remain near multi-year highs. The 10-year top 1.8 before pairing gains ahead of a busy week of economic data, including key inflation reports midweek. And this morning, we're already seeing several companies' updates in the retail and healthcare world ahead of ICR conference that runs 110 to 112 in Orlando, Florida. The JP Morgan 40th Annual Healthcare Conference, which is virtual, that runs the 10th through the 13th, as well as the Needham 24th Annual Growth Conference, virtual 10th through the 14th. Rising yields are at the start of 2022 have set a shudder through tech stocks on fears that they are indications that the Federal Reserve could raise short-term interest rates in March and begin to shrink its holdings on bonds and other assets soon afterwards. We knew this was coming. Stocks dropped last week as the S&P fell 1.87%, the Dow lost 0.29%, the Russell fell 2.87%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq declined 4.53%. Yeah, it was a rough week. Speaking of a rough week for gold, down 2.1%, and Bitcoin, which tumbled over 10% last week. Oil prices jumped 5.65%. And that there are concerns about looming U.S. interest rate hikes amid more hawkish commentary out of December FOMC minutes. And unfolding, they're really trying to push it towards this Omicron variant. But, dude, what's... anyway, that's what they're saying. Mixed U.S. jobs report showed jobs market was or at near maximum employment, even though employment rose far less than expected in December, while employment rate slipped. Banks have been helped by rising U.S. Treasury yields as the 10-year yield hit its highest since January 2020, and in Asian markets. The Nikkei index dipped by a few points. Shanghai rose about 14 points. Hang Seng gained 250, and in Europe, the DAX, the German DAX, is down 50. Slipped below 15,900, so broke key level support. FTSE is little changed at 74.80. Bitcoin's recent weakness reflects the Fed Reserve's decision to withdraw the massive liquidity that has been pumped into the market since the pandemic hit, falling 8.8% to 41.5, and have reached a 3.5-month low at 40 on Friday. Okay, yes, Bitcoin is having problems, right? Bitcoin, I don't even know how to look at Bitcoin on this sucker. Bitcoin versus DAI, no. Bitcoin USD. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Maybe not. 42,000. Does that look right? All right, it's smacked. And I mean, it's smacked. With a fury. That key level of support there. Like, smacked it. Sorry, I'm trying to find. That could be its demand zone. That looks right. Pretty significant demand zone. Trading at -2 ATR. Rally to the 200 SMA at 46,180. VWAP at 47 and POX at 50. Looking for some recovery in Bitcoin. Okay. Real quick 5-minute break. I'm going to throw up the futures and then I will be right back and we will get into the plays. I'm going to throw up the 3-minute chart or the 2-minute chart. Are these bounce recoveries? Whoop-de-whoop. Could it be? Who could it be? 1 second. I got to go wake up the kids. And I will be right back. I'll get into the plays after that and we'll get on with it. See you in a minute. All right, I'm back. So, all right, check it out, yo. Okay, we broke the 50% retracement. I think we come back down and test this 382. See how this rising 2 standard deviation line, this purple line right here, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there's a purple line right there. It ends at 46.24 to the downside. 1, 2, 3. We might get a corrective move, right? So I would look for support to begin at 46.20. There is a doji here. All right, there's a doji that runs basically 46.20. It's super bright. That's also the 382 at 46.1350. So continued pullback on the ES. Looking at the 30-minute real quick. Just make sure we didn't already hit that level. Very possibly we could come down and test that today. The 383 retracement is very powerful, just like the 618, the 50%. A healthy pullback is a reversion to the 382, 46.13. That means SPY comes down, and most S&P 500 stocks will respect that. This green area is a doji from way back. From back in the end of October, beginning of November, right? It's kind of held before, but it's not super strong. That 382 retracement is way stronger in my opinion. Okay. Longer term look at what that looks like, right? Rounded top, 382 retracement. What happens at the 382 is we may see a bounce, right? So far we are downtrending in the market. So if you're long bias, I'm going to show you a couple ways to look at things. If you're used to looking at stocks going up and you can't read the downside, flip the chart upside down. So with TradingView, you just you right click the sidebar, right? And then you hit invert scale. And what that does is it gives you, oh, this looks very bullish. Now we're going to go up and target 46.13. That'll give you some key levels. In Thinkorswim, just put a negative sign below the ticker, or before the ticker. So it's like negative/ES to give you an inverted view. The levels don't hold, so you can't be like, oh, 46.13 and put a trend line there and then flip it because the trend line will stay where it's at. So that's just the Thinkorswim way about doing things. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the old NQ, because I believe the NQ is probably going to get hit real hard again today. All right, so what we didn't do is through a fib retracement on this. And I mean, NQ is currently trading 3.5 standard deviations away from its daily mean, which is pretty significant, right? Let me get rid of some of this junk that's on here. The line's got nothing to do with anything. So these were target levels. I don't think we're going to reach those. We had a broadening pattern here, so it looks like we've got support coming in at 15,274. This is a tough level to try to find. Right? Hand is hurting for some reason. Yeah, that looks like it lines up pretty good. Pretty good for just an eyeballed demand zone. So if we were to make it down to the 382 at 15,284.5, that would be the NQ trading at 1, 2, almost 3 standard deviations away from the mean. That is an extreme level. A very extreme level. Okay. I just noticed this little doji way back here, back in August, September, October, November. Okay. Once we find support, we should get a nice little rally back up, right? But we just have to come down and find that support. Looking at the looking at the NQ on the 30-minute chart. I really think that a move it hasn't really held my fib level. Sorry, I'm just looking at some things here real quick. Kind of held that fib level, downtrending. Yeah, anywhere in those green would look for a bounce. How that relates is any tech-heavy stocks. Probably maybe beginning next week, we can look at starting to go long on some things. But I wouldn't want to try to call a bottom on this right now, okay? Just don't get super long bias on anything right now. The old YM, all right, this is the Dow. Let's see if Fibonacci will help us out with this one as well. All right, so the Dow recently pulled back to the 618 retracement. Double bottomed on that, so if the Dow holds that support level, oh, this is a 30-minute. Dang it, my bad. I don't like this left shoulder head. We might get a move down and then move back up for a right shoulder for a longer term move in the Dow. The Dow did pull back to the 618 retracement at 35959, right? If that breaks, we've got a 50% retracement incoming at 35,689. Remember, a couple weeks ago when everything was selling off, the Dow was rallying, so maybe there's going to be that rotation back, right? But we do have to find like key levels. And I kind of like this doji here. Okay. How that looks on the 30. Pull back, kiss the 50% retracement, couldn't make it back out. Or excuse me, kiss the 618, couldn't make it back out and up. I think we might come down and test it again. If this level breaks on the Dow, we can see a move back down here to the 50% retracement. So we want the 618 to hold, is what I'm saying. All right, and then finally the Russell. Looking at the old Russell, super chop, fragilistic, super chop. Can we just say chop anymore? So could potentially be forming an inverse head and shoulders here, right? However, it's so hard to find support for this sucker. Periods of long wickiness. As far as support goes, anywhere in here for a bounce play, possibly. As long as it doesn't go below. So if it doesn't go below here, right? If it doesn't get into this green zone, then it will definitely set up an inverse head and shoulders, right? If it breaks that green zone, then we look at this downward trend line as the downside target. All right, and that's the Russell daily, looking at it on the 30. It's just kind of flat, right? It's making a series of lower lows, not higher highs. So follow this purple line down. I think the 10th at about noon, we should see, at the end of the day today, we should see a retest of this support level. Okay. All right. And then real quickly, just looking at the 5-minute on gold, right? Nice little rally in gold. Pull back to support, trying to make a move back up. Bonds are up, right? And the yen is up. So as long as these are up, we would look for continued weakness in the ES, the NQ, the Dow, and the Russell, right? Do we get a bounce? We might get a bounce at the open. So the market's been basically rallying at the open, right? And then selling off for the rest of the day. So just be nimble, look for puts and calls both ways, okay? All right, let's get into the plays, and I'm going to be quick about this. All right, so I went over the weekend watch list. I'd picked out Amazon, Adobe, Activision, and Snow were the weekend watch list plays. Nice bullish divergence across the board for those. Keep in mind they are coming, like Adobe's coming up to key resistance level, right? If it can maintain its uptrend, I think it can pull price action up with it. Amazon is looking at consolidation support here, and if it breaks, it can pull price action back up with it. ATVI is probably the most bullish of them all so far, that or Uber. And if I remember correctly, Uber's kind of been selling off pre-market, right? Uber's got trendline support, massive bullish divergence. Uber's, right? There's the moves. It's either going to 4-hour Cutler channel support hold, or it's going to break, back test it, and move back down to the daily bottom. If it does hold, right, we'll get a rally to the mid and then melt up to the daily top, 4-hour top. It looks like pre-market, it is currently trading, it's fighting that previous low, right, and the 4-hour Cutler channel bottom. Okay, moving on. Let's get to your requests, and I gotta cut it a little early because I've got to. I went and played I went and played airsoft with my son yesterday for about 4 hours in the evening. I wasn't able to get my charting done, so I started writing some stuff up. Are you kidding me right now? All right, I just lost all my notes. NVIDIA, mRNA, AMD, Roblox, Tesla, Google. Oh, that's so frustrating. NVIDIA's bullish. Moderna has to hold support. AMD bearish. Roblox bearish. Tesla bullish. Google bearish. Dang it. All right, my bad, dude. That sucks so bad. I'm so upset right now. All right, so Johnny was here first. We want to look at Lucid. I got you. AMD. Nvidia. Tesla. Apple, SPY, QQQ, Starbucks, and Nvidia. NVIDIA, yeah, NVIDIA looks good. All right, Lucid. So, for those of you that are new and don't understand what you're seeing here, this is a smart money, dark pool, and block trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. The purple line is the Flow Index algorithm. It tracks smart money, large institutions, hedge funds, dark pools, and block trades. It's the market movers, market makers, movers, right? So it's created what's called its Flow Index. The Flow Index does track all of those transactions. It creates an algorithm based on it. It is a predictive indicator, which means that if smart money is buying into a stock that's selling off, right, that means that once that starts to find support and all the shares have been fulfilled, the price action will follow the algorithm and play out that divergence. So currently, Lucid is basically trading with price action. The algo found a little bit of a support. It's made a higher low and a higher high. If it can continue to move up, and it will drag price action with it. Now we've got kind of a little bit of a right. It's at a key overhead resistance level. If it can break that, I think it can continue to pull price action up with it. Lucid has got kind of longer term support. Right, it's got to take out some previous highs. Currently trading in a nice little zone right there. If it can get up and out of that zone, right, then I like Lucid. Lucid's one of my favorite stocks. I actually I got rid of my shares because it hit my trailing stop loss. Block trades in the last 5 days. What you see in front of you, these block trades, red is dark pool, or excuse me, red is regular block trades, blue are dark pool block trades. Whenever you see that white line right there, ISK, I know it's really hard to see, but it's there. That is whenever a regular and a dark pool print on top of each other, and you can't really draw two different lines on to separate them out. So with Lucid, regular block trade resistance at 42 basically, and dark pool at 42.20. Above those two levels, I think we can start getting pretty bullish again. If those both came in towards the close, so those could be buy orders. So going into this week, as long as Lucid can maintain its trendline support and previous high, I think we're pretty good on it. AMD, the algo is net selling AMD, and it doesn't surprise me, right? We got a little bit of a whoa, what's this? Are you telling me? How did I add that one? How did I get 5 in there? What? What is this? Yo, bro, can I just keep adding to these? How do I add a new one? Sweet. Dude, that would be killer if they'd let me keep adding so I can get like 10 of them at a time. That's phenomenal. Huh. Hold on. All right, I'm not sure how I did it. I'll go look at it again. So, I mean, this is long-term support for AMD. 131. If it breaks 131, then we have to find the next lower level. But the algo is just trading with price action, and it's very bearish. Okay, we don't have that divergence. So either play to the downside or wait for the bullish divergence to reoccur on AMD. Nvidia, same deal. The algo is net selling, right? Right, downtrending, net selling. Possible double bottom support in Nvidia, right? So I'm going to keep an eye on that. It is at key levels. If I remember correctly, it's currently at like some very key levels in Nvidia. So daily bottom, double daily bottom, previous support, right? If it takes out this weekly cloud, so if it takes out previous lows, we got a weekly mid at 261, right? So if it takes out the daily cloud and 262, which is the weekly mid, we can come down and test monthly top cloud, weekly bottom, rising 200. This is a 4-hour chart. Kind of pay attention to this stuff too, right? So if we get the daily bounce, then we can target 4-hour mid at 282, 4-hour top at 294, right? Rising 50, rising 200. But if we break, then we can definitely come down and test this monthly top at 242. So break at 262, and below 254, we hit 242 on NVIDIA, okay? As far as the algo, like I said, the algo is still... Maybe they just pushed an update. Maybe they just pushed an update. And then Tesla. So we've got bearish divergence on Tesla, which means that the algo is selling while price action is rising. Okay. So price is trying to maintain that trend line support. If it breaks, we got a previous low over here. Right? If it takes that 1023, it's going to test 1019, below 1019. I think it comes back down to 1,000 on Tesla. So, like I said, it's fighting to stay at this 995 level, fighting to stay at 1,000. Below 1,000, I think it comes down 950, 925. Tesla puts for sure, I would be looking at. Like I said, I went over this play earlier. Downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. Squeezes, if those squeezes start to fire off, they're going to fire off to the downside. All right, and finally, Starbucks. What was the other one that y'all wanted to look at? The SPY. QQQ. Okay. Starbucks, the algo is net selling, right? It's dragging price action down with it. If we've got a regular block trade on Starbucks at 107.57 and 108.06. If those are sell orders, we can get a flush back down to previous lows, right? 106.50. Those are buy orders. We might get a little bit of divergence for a quick pop back up to 109, 110 area on Starbucks, but the algo is leading price action down with it. Okay, and the SPY, same kind of situation. The algo is making lower lows and lower highs. It has came right to a previous level of support. The last time it was here, it kind of chopped and eventually failed for a quick flush before it made a longer term uptrend. If like possible inverse head and shoulders on SPY, but like I said, it's real heavy right now. So it took out those levels. We've got a bunch of block trades on SPY. So, all right, this is the last 30 days in SPY. These are all dark pool levels. The lowest one is 466.07. So if it breaks that dark pool support, I think we see a pretty significant pullback, because those orders should be pulling it up, right? Should be acting as support, right? Those dark pools acting as support. If they're not going to support it, then SPY is going to have a rough day. SPY broke its 50. It's all right. So SPY broke the 50-day on the 4-hour. It came back down. It found previous support zone at 462, rallied back up. It's back testing the 50 and the 4-hour bottom. If it rejects the 4-hour bottom, it's got the daily bottom as downside target 460, 458. Below 458, okay, below 458, we have the weekly mid at 456, and then finally previous lows, weekly or monthly top cloud at 446, and then the 200. I'd hate to say that I'd hate to see the 200 4-hour 200 met at 444. It's a pretty $20 drop on the SPY. All right. QQQ is a little bit more bullish than the SPY in that the Algo has kind of started to form a little inverse head and shoulders and found some support there. If that support holds, it can pull QQQ back up with it. If it breaks, then we have to look at the downside move and QQQ being bearish again. But if you look here, right? One, two, triple bottom, Algo, double bottom top, right? Broadening pattern. So, gonna keep an eye on the QQQ and the Tesla. So, pretty much bearish all around the board. I want to look at Roblox and Google. Nobody asked for Google. We're gonna look at Google. Etsy. And Moderna. All right, Roblox, a little bit of bullish divergence, regular block trade support. If the Algo can break above, the $80, or $80.80 and continue to move up, Roblox might have found a bottom. Okay. However, if that Algo rejects and pulls down, Roblox breaks its trendline support, breaks its regular block trade support, right? What I don't want to have happen is there be a bear flag forming. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. I need Roblox to get back above previous lows, and then I would start targeting the $85.90 level. That's right, Roblox was $85.90 calls, and then $75.80 puts. All right, I got to get those added to my chart. Google, we do have a little bit of separation. White line in Google to 2740, dark pool regular block or dark pool support 2731. If those levels hold and the Algo reverses, then we can see 2800 on Google pretty quickly, and then we're going to use this cluster at 2850 as a magnet target. Etsy, for those of you that like the Etsy has got bullish divergence up into last week. However, see this little pullback. If this forms a flag, then it's great, right? We get a bounce off of there and a continuation move to the upside. What that would do is that would drag Etsy's price action back up with it, and then there's a trading zone for Etsy that runs, all right, 190. So above 190 for longs on Etsy, right? If it breaks trendline support, look for a downside move. Moderna, price action trading with the algorithm. The Algo attempted to make higher highs and higher lows, except for it just kind of created a consolidation zone for it. Moderna's got a bunch of news coming out today. It does like the news, right? So there's your trendline support for Moderna and this longer overhead resistance. So for me, I like to trade Moderna, and I'm gonna look at Moderna above 215 for a move to 220, 225. Moderna above 215, 220, 225 calls, and then below, what was it? Below 215, we have 210 and then 200. So below 215, 210, 200 puts. Etsy looks good though. And then Google, Roblox. All right, I got a few more minutes, and then there's Costco for you. All right, Costco algorithms trading with price action, possible little double bottom here, right? It's pulled back to pre-key level support. However, the algo is separated, pointed down. Okay. All right. I need to look at some charts, yo. Oh, I gotta get my numbers added and everything. And so this is Tesla. I don't have pre-market on. So going into today, Tesla had dojied on the 4-hour, below the 50, above the 200. So Tesla really needs to get above 1060 for a move back up to the upside, and below 1,000, it's gonna come test 950. Sorry, Charlie, that's just the 967. 967 support on Tesla. So down to 967 support, move back up below 950 target. All right, what am I doing here? Hold on, let's see. All right, so this is Tesla. It just broke through its zone. So I like down Tesla down to 960. Sorry. So 950 puts. 940. So 900. Let's look at the 900 puts on Tesla. Those 900 puts have a ton of open interest. Oh, Laz, I don't know. That's a tough question, bro. Reach out to me later today, and we'll talk. Okay. All right. So predicted trades. We're gonna look at. And then, so if it comes down here, sorry, I'm just, so for Tesla, we're below the 4-hour cloud. We're below the daily, or we're below the 4-hour counter channel, below the daily mid, and we have a daily bottom, weekly mid downside target, right? I'm looking at the 900 puts and then 1,000 puts for Tesla. Okay. And then I'm also, so if it comes back and if those levels hold, the 1,000 calls or the 1050 calls, which is, you know, a move back to the daily mid, back into this cloud. The 1050 calls and the 1100 calls. 1100 would be represent a move back to the 4-hour 21 EMA, or excuse me, back to this 4-hour standard deviation line, basically, or a weekly cloud top, right? 1100. This is what those look like. If you want to take a screenshot of those, I'll give you a second. I need to get, oh. I'm really liking these Tesla 1000 puts. And I'm liking these 1050 calls. Okay, that's Tesla. And then I got to run through these real quick because, like I said, all my notes had got destroyed. I lost them. Not super happy about that. All right, AMD pre-market. So for AMD, if it breaks the daily cloud, I've got a weekly mid at 126. Below 126, I think we hit 122. AMD 120 call, or 120 puts. Wow, those are dirt cheap. AMD is cheap enough I can just play normal options on that. Let me check out Roblox. I don't want to try to find beast numbers for that. Alright, it's Roblox, very similar story. It's broken its daily bottom, 4-hour bottom, and it's down at a 50% retracement. So if this level holds, we can look for a move back up, 4-hour mid to daily cloud top at 90. Above 90, we hit previous VWAP at 93. If this level breaks, we've got this weekly bottom down here at 70. So we could look at the 75 puts and the 70s for Roblox. I'll just do the 80s and the 70s. Yeah, this is pretty decent. So if you're interested in trading Roblox, does it find support here and rally to the 618, right? Or, you know, 90? Or does it break 82 and come back down and test, you know, 70, 77? monthly or weekly bottom magnet at 70 though. Okay, so that's what these look like. I'm gonna look at Roblox puts. Right, and then look at these calls. Okay. One second here. I'm running out of time real quick. All right, NVIDIA. Viddy. All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but NVIDIA is at a massive support zone, right? So this is a weekly mid, daily bottom, below the 4-hour bottom, previous low, okay? If it cracks this area, then it's going to come down and test, right? It's going to test 257 and then back down to 247, okay? Right? It's coming up on a very key level. Selling off pre-market. Do we get a bounce? All right. Do we get a flush to 262, 261 for a rally back to 280, right? Which would be this mid. Should probably be 270. So 260, 270, 280. 290. Or do we break and then we trade the zone 262 to 252? I mean, if it breaks that mid, if it breaks this weekly mid, it can get super ugly for NVIDIA, right? That's why I'm like, oh, NVIDIA's at a pretty significant key level of support here. 255, 260. NVIDIA. And then to the upside, so let's say these hold, right? Rally to 270, 280. NVIDIA 280, 290s. Okay, so NVIDIA. So if this daily Keltner channel cloud holds and NVIDIA gets back up into the 4-hour, 4-hour starting to curl up, then we test 271, 275, 280, right? Out above 280, it's pretty easy move back up to 290. So I'm looking at the 280, 290 calls for NVIDIA and the 255, 260 puts. NVIDIA. Oh, what did I do there? Okay, and then finally, what was else that I want to look at? Oh, Moderna. So mRNA. So Moderna's at a very, very key level of support, right? It's at the weekly bottom, right? If it breaks this weekly bottom, then it comes back down and it tests, sub 200. Right, sub 200, it gets pretty smooth to 185. So on Moderna, there's only one real trade on Moderna, and that's the 200 put. And then to the upside, let me just zoom in on this. So, right, in the weekly cloud, back into the 4-hour daily bottom. So natural move would be a rally up to the 21 EMA and the 4-hour mid, right, at 220. Above that, easy move to 230. If it gets above 232, 250 incoming, right? So the 230, 245s on Moderna. I like those. I really like the 230 calls. Right, and the 200 puts. All right, so I got to run. Thanks for joining me. Let me show you what that looks like. So basically, Moderna's going to rally, right? It's going to fight its way through this cloud. I'll show you what the zones look like, right? It's in a zone right now. Target the top of the zone, 233. If it breaks this support, right, this 210, it's going to flush down to this 204 long-term trend line. Come on. See, I drew a trend line from this low connected to this low, right? 205 support. So if it shoots down to 205, right? Play the bounce move back up on those 230 calls, super cheap. If it rallies, look, play the 200 puts on the turn. Okay. All right. That's it for me. I got to run. Thanks for joining me. I'm Darkpool Algo. I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, have a great day. Stay safe, stay green. And I will talk with y'all soon.